You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
1 week now from the start of hurricane season, and the Caribbean is already churning. First Alert meteorologist John Scalzi is tracking a storm that could be headed for the Suncoast.
Plus, holiday gas prices are climbing, what you can expect to pay, and the warning about getting ripped off at the pump this weekend. Plus, disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. He is expected to turn himself in to New York police this morning. We'll tell you the charges that he's now facing. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now.
Hello, early risers. It is Friday, May 25th. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. Let's get right to it. Meteorologist John Scalzi with the latest on what we're watching in the tropics.
I hope you know where your umbrellas are.
Oh,
that's all I can say. Yeah, we're headed for a kind of a sloppy weekend. And regrettably, it looks like it'll probably be pretty much of a rain out, at least for Saturday and Sunday, and maybe Monday as well. The system still has not organized into anything that can be called a depression or a tropical storm, but hurricane hunters are probably going to go down there today and check it out a little later on this afternoon, and we could certainly have a depression or a subtropical system having kind of characteristics of both tropical and non-tropical storms. And it's still forecast to lift northward and hit the northern Gulf Coast. So there's really not much changed in the thinking of what will happen with this system. It's going to bring us a lot of rainfall. Currently, the Hurricane Center is giving the system about a 90% chance of developing over a 5-day period. And by 5 day, I would say 3 to 4 days. By the time it gets up to the northern Gulf Coast, there's the potential for some development just before it makes it onshore. But it certainly could become a depression even later today. So a 70% chance over 2 days as the system begins to lift further to the north. Forecast calls for plenty of tropical moisture to continue to lift northward across our region. Drier air on one side of the system kind of limiting its development, but it will still bring that river of air up our way again today. And just with all that tropical moisture around like yesterday, we had some big storms around. We could see the same sort of situation again today, though I don't think we'll see quite as big a storm because I think we'll have more cloud cover that'll hold down our daytime temperatures. Spaghetti models continue to put it up in the northern Gulf waters. There is some discrepancy about whether it gets closer to Florida, further away from Florida, and that could impact our weather in terms of the kind of rainfall that we get and the amount of it. But I think if you look at the risks with this particular system, rip currents and rough seas would be the number one issues that I would see in terms of life-threatening conditions out there. So boaters obviously going to want to stay in port tomorrow. Also heavy rains, a big issue. Could be some localized flooding. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a few.
All right, John, talk to you soon. Let's check the traffic right now, and this is a peek outside at University and 75. Some slow-moving traffic right now. People are preparing this weekend to head out for Memorial Day plans. Gas prices might be higher. More on that in one moment. Let's check the maps right now as we check into, first off, Sarasota County. You'll see there, actually this is Manatee County, 301 southbound. As you leave downtown Bradenton, some congestion there over 15th Street East. And then the next map down to the south, we'll find out getting into Lakewood Ranch. A little blip there in the eastbound lane as you head toward Lakewood Ranch Boulevard. And then our final map to the south. The only red is way out there on Clark Road. And there is one more shot of the state of Florida.
Well, AAA, speaking of those gas prices and traffic, is predicting more than 36 million people across the country will hit the road this Memorial Day weekend. And they're going to do it with gas prices on the rise.
Let's get a preview now from Marla Spence, who is live on US 41 in Sarasota. Marla?
Good morning, guys. Memorial Day is the start of the busy summer travel season and is expected to be busier than last. Meanwhile, gas is 60 cents more expensive than it was last Memorial Day. Now, we spoke to people fueling up and getting ready to make their way out of town for the holiday weekend, and they told me they enjoy traveling too much to let the gas prices change their plans.
Hey, I'm going to Daytona for this weekend. The gas price ain't going to change my mind. Gotta get where we gotta get at, you know what I'm saying?
No, the gas prices will not influence whether we travel or not this summer.
Now, here's a closer look at the numbers right now. AAA says the average price for a gallon of regular unleaded in Florida is $2.91. It's even higher nationwide at $2.96 a gallon. 1 year ago, gas was $2.31 a gallon. And here's where you can find the least expensive gas on the Suncoast. According to GasBuddy.com, you can find regular unleaded for $2.79 a gallon at the Citco on 15th Street and Televast Road. And in Bradenton, the lowest gas price is also $2.79 at the Marathon on 47th and 53rd Avenue East near Lockwood Ridge Road. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to be telling you about a program to get you a ride this weekend if you find yourself a little buzz before you get behind the wheel. Reporting live in Sarasota, Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. Speaking of gas, stay on guard for gas pump card skimmers this weekend. Here are some simple tips to identify the card skimmers that are often on gas pumps. Pay in cash if you want to inside the store to ensure you're safe. Check to make sure the gas pump dispenser cabinet is closed and not tampered with. Also, use a pump closer to the front of the store. Thieves often place skimmers at pumps farther away so the clerks don't catch them doing it. Use a credit card, not a debit card, because credit cards have better fraud protection and the money is not deducted immediately from the account. If using a debit card at the pump, choose to run it as a credit card instead of putting a PIN number in. That way the PIN number remains safe.
Well, switching gears, in the words of John Scalzi, it may not be a Chamber of Commerce holiday this weekend. Now, if a storm does develop, it'll be named Alberto, and it'll be the first of the 10 to 16 named storms this season. 5 to 9 are predicted to reach hurricane status, including 1 to 4 major hurricanes. Now, in average hurricane season, which runs from June through November, produces on average about 12 named storms. On average, 6 of those become hurricanes, and then on average, 3 will become major hurricanes.
We don't like folks to focus too much on the cone. If you're anywhere near the cone, anywhere, and take into account the fact that forecast tracks shift, you should be preparing and paying close attention.
Now, just as a reminder, next Friday, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan, our meteorologists, the fabulous John Scalzi, and the rest of our ABC 7 First Alert weather team, they are hosting an hour-long hurricane special. Everything you need to know and what to expect for this season. That'll be right here on ABC 7 at 7.
5:07 right now. A school bus driver involved in a deadly crash in New Jersey last week is now facing criminal charges. As reporter Chris Keating tells us, the 77-year-old faces 2 counts of vehicular homicide.
The charges were announced by the Morris County prosecutor. 1 count of vehicular homicide for each who died, teacher Jennifer Williamson Kennedy and another for 10-year-old Miranda Vargas. Details have now been released of the crash that happened 1 week ago while Eastbrook Middle School students were headed to Waterloo Village. Police have explained that Muldrow was driving on 206 southbound toward the ramp for 80 westbound. But instead of merging with traffic on 80, the report shows Muldrow made a left across 3 lanes on 80 and was hit by a dump truck in the center lane. The rear left side of the bus was hit. The bus driver was attempting to get to the illegal cut-through to get onto 80 East. The report says the bus was positioned in an almost perpendicular direction when the crash happened. This information comes on the very same day that a funeral mass was held for teacher Jennifer Williamson Kennedy.
How to stop gun violence. That was the topic at a meeting last night in an area that's seen several shootings over the past few weeks. Sarasota Police Chief Bernadette DePino, she led the meeting last night at the Robert Taylor Community Complex. Chief says enough is enough on gun violence. There have already been 17 shootings in the Newtown area just this year, 4 of them recently in a span of a week. So what is the answer to stopping the violence? Well, several ideas were front and center last night, including a gun buyback program.
It's important for us to all get together to discuss some maybe problem-solving initiatives to be able to reduce and totally eliminate gun violence within our community.
This just has to stop, and the only way that it does stop is that we have to work together with our police department to find a solution.
And the chief says that there will be more community meetings like that one in the near future.
The summit between the U.S. and North and South Korea is not happening. The White House released a letter President Trump sent to Kim Jong-un calling off the summit. It had been scheduled for June 12th in Singapore. The meeting would have been the first face-to-face meeting between a U.S. and North Korean leader.
And a big event this weekend at the Nathan Benderson Park. For the first time, the NCAA Women's Rowing Championship will be held in Sarasota County. Now, last year's World Rowing Championship generated about $23 million for the local economy. Organizers hope that this weekend's college event generates even more business for the park. Now, they're going to host the NCAA Women's Rowing Championships again in 2020 and 2021.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, a restaurant explosion sends 15 people to the hospital. What we know so far about this incident.
And coming up a little later in the hour, flood-prone areas in parts of Manatee County. We're going to tell you what they're doing now before the start of hurricane season.
Time, Mother Nature remains angry in Hawaii. This is a live shot right now of the Kilauea volcano.
That is right. It is still going on today. Now we're going to checking out our own things that are churning in the Gulf with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yeah, we'll have showers again this afternoon. We had some big ones around yesterday. I'll tell you, some big thunderstorm activity. I don't think we'll get quite as warm today, so the storms might not be quite as big, but I will check the rain box again today. Now, this is not the rain directly associated with whatever circulation may eventually develop from our tropical system that's still in the Caribbean. These are our standard afternoon showers and thunderstorms, kind of enhanced by that river of atmospheric moisture that's been over us for days. So mostly sunny to start, followed by cloud cover building quickly. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Thunderstorms on your way home this evening, and all airport hubs serving Sarasota are running on time, according to the FAA. We'll have the complete forecast for you in a sec.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
According to Golf Digest, 2 of the nation's top golf resorts are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, the Auburn Opelika Marriott at Grand National, and the Renaissance Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa in Birmingham. Plus, the Marriott at Grand National was recognized as Hotel of the Year by Marriott International. Experience luxury and world-class golf Southern style. Visit rtjgolf/resorts or call 800-949-4444 to book your trip to the trail.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Tanya, come here.
Learning the right steps.
2, 3, 4.
Or making contact. It's not just about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about making the connection. It's about proving every kid and teen who enters our doors has what it takes. Great futures start here.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So taking you through the day today, I think we're going to end up very similar to what we saw yesterday. We'll have kind of a mix of sun and clouds, building clouds as we progress through the morning. By afternoon, we'll start to bump up our rain chances. And as the sea breeze begins to build, whatever sea breeze we get today, because it'll be a cooler day, we'll start to see about a 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms once again building in, coming up at us out of the south. And some of those storms could produce some lightning and thunder, but I think they'll probably be a little less intense than they were yesterday. Still, plentiful amounts of rain are possible as they wind down toward drive time, as drive time finishes up around 7 o'clock tonight. Futurecast shows those lines of showers coming at us. They're going to come up from the south. They're going to lift off to the north. And some of them will produce some fairly decent rainfall as we head into the evening hours today. Again, there's a potential of a few thunderstorms around, so we can't neglect that possibility of lightning around, and then they'll kind of die out as we head into the evening hours, just like yesterday. And then tomorrow, of course, our eyes are going to be focused on the showers and thunderstorms that could be associated with a developing system out in the Gulf. We'll probably, I would say, if you have an early tea time tomorrow, you might be able to get through your golf game without too much of a problem. But I would say by 9, 10 o'clock, we start to have the chance of seeing some showers beginning to rotate around the system out in the Gulf, and some of those storms could produce, again, some very heavy rain. If you look at the risks associated with this event, I would say that the two big ones are going to be the rip currents and the rough seas. Those are the two most life-threatening issues that we could have. Obviously, boaters, you're going to want to stay in port. We've already got gale warnings out there, way out in Gulf waters. So clearly we'll have small craft advisories up. Seas will be running 8 feet near shore probably, and as much as 12 feet well offshore. So not boating weather, clearly. As we also head into the weekend, we could have a threat of some heavy rainfall, potentially 3 to 5 inches over a 5-day period, which normally we could handle. But if we get some very heavy rainfall Saturday and Sunday, you get the kind of situation where if you have hours and hours and hours of rain, the ground gets saturated, fields fill up, you get some culverts that fill up with water spilling over onto some roadways. You know how the situation works, especially with our heavy thunderstorm activity. Well, imagine hours of that, and you can kind of get the idea that we could get some flooding going on that we'll have to watch out for. Also down the road, as we head into next week, we could see some river flooding as well. So those people who normally flood along the riverbanks, the hidden acres, you folks, you know what I'm talking about. You could get some damaging winds. I'll put that in the low category, though I gotta say, with these kind of storms, there's always the potential of a spin up of a weak tornado with these systems coming on shore, especially as they winds start to pick up on Saturday afternoon and evening. About a 2% chance that we could see a problem with some brief weak tornadoes. So we'll watch this system lift northward, and all the computer models kind of converge on an area between probably Mobile, Alabama, but anywhere from New Orleans back toward Tallahassee is the most likely. If it gets a little bit closer to us, of course, our rainfall totals might go up just a little bit. If they're a little bit further away, then the rainfall totals might go down just a tad. But the fact is, we're going to be wet all weekend long. Now, here's the European model, puts it furthest away from us. It gets our closest to us by early in the morning on Sunday. Saturday night into Sunday morning, I think, will be our heaviest rainfall. And there's some of the rainfall totals as we get close to, as it gets close to the coastline, could exceed 3-4 inches, 2 inches a day, perhaps maybe more in some isolated pockets. So that's what we'll be watching, that heavier rainfall. And of course, as it lifts up toward areas of Mobile, Alabama, there could really be some flooding issues up there, as well as some very minor storm surge. Storm surge shouldn't be a big problem for us. So we look at the beach and boating forecast today, and it's probably your last good day for the weekend, right? South wind coming at about 10 to 15. And as we head into the weekend, of course, today, afternoon showers and thunderstorms, but it's a first alert weather day, both Saturday and Sunday, I think, with the heaviest of the weather likely to occur, I'd say, between 3 in the afternoon on Saturday and 3 in the morning on Sunday. That's when you'll probably see the winds picking up and getting kind of strong, howling just a little bit, maybe some 30-mile-an-hour gusts, 20, 25-mile-an-hour sustained, and some torrential downpours of rain at times possible. And then we head into next week. We still have rain chances in the forecast. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside to your first alert traffic out there this morning. Let's starting off in Manatee County, where we already have some slowdowns and a few delays to tell you about. State Road 64 is already seeing some delays as you're heading out and towards Home Beach right there, as well as 301 starting to see some delays there as well coming out of the Bradenton area. Then in Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad just yet, even with the start of the holiday weekend. A lot of people are going to be leaving later on today to get a jump start on everything. So far, so good. No delays to tell you really about there. A little bit farther south in the area again, those roads are running pretty clear too. 519, that is your first alert traffic.
Happening today, Harvey Weinstein expected to turn himself in to the NYPD this morning. Reporter Melissa Ranney has the story on the man whose alleged actions fueled the Me Too movement.
Sexual misconduct allegations catching up to disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. He's expected to turn himself in to the NYPD Friday morning to face charges in 2 separate sexual misconduct cases. A source familiar with the investigation tells CNN the expected charges stem from allegations Weinstein raped one woman and forced another to perform oral sex on him. The NYPD refused to elaborate on the case during a news briefing Thursday.
I'm not going to get into any details on the allegations beyond that there are several, and the in-depth nature of the investigation I'll stay away from at this point in time.
The expected charges follow a flood of accusations against Weinstein that led women around the world to come forward with accounts of being sexually harassed and assaulted by powerful men. Weinstein's representative has said he sought treatment after the accusations, and any allegations of non-consensual sex were unequivocally denied. One of the first women to publicly accuse Weinstein of assault, actress Rose McGowan. She released a statement on Instagram Thursday saying in part, "I and so many of Harvey Weinstein's survivors had given up hope that our rapist would be held accountable by law. 20 years ago, I swore that I would right this wrong. Today, we are one step closer to justice." Weinstein's attorney declined to comment on Thursday as to whether his client would turn himself in or not. I'm Melissa Ranney reporting.
All right, still to come on Good Morning Suncoast. Has Facebook been spying on your text messages and even tracking your location? Some new allegations against the social media giant this morning.
And next half hour at 5:30, the free program to keep you safe when you didn't plan ahead this holiday weekend.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We'd like to show you other live shots as well. This is the scene right now in a misty and foggy Atlanta, Georgia. 70 degrees and clouds there right now.
And getting ready to kick off their Memorial Day weekend as well. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast this
Top
morning.
of that building all illuminated there. Very pretty.
Looks kind of cool this morning.
All right, 5:23 right now. North of the border, an explosion at a restaurant near Toronto injured 15 people last night. Emergency crews responded to the restaurant about 10:30 p.m. Police are now looking for the two people who set off an improvised explosive device or a bomb in the restaurant. Both had their faces covered during the attack. Most of the injured were taken to local hospitals in Mississauga. 3 others rushed to trauma centers in Toronto.
Facebook back in the hot seat again. Have your personal text messages, even Ray's location, been tracked by the site?
Leave me out of this, okay? Love the story in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, new accusations against Facebook.
They were just added to an ongoing lawsuit. The allegations claim Facebook gathered data for commercial reasons by reading users' text and tracking their calls and locations, among other methods. Facebook calls the claims baseless. A jury has ordered Samsung to pay Apple more than $500 million in damages for illegally copying some iPhone features.
The decision is considered a victory for Apple, even though Apple says Samsung really owes them more than $1 billion. Samsung puts that figure closer to $28 million. Finally, thread that changes color.
It was developed at the University of Central Florida. The thread is made from tiny LEDs. An app is used to create just enough electricity and heat to change the pigment in the thread. Developers say their goal is to have it used beyond clothing and apparel.
Love it. Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Old Navy.
Jump into summer with 50% off all dresses and shorts, 50% off all tanks and swim, and 50% off all tees. Hurry in to get 50% off at Old Navy.
Turn up your swagger game with One-A-Day Men's. A complete multivitamin with key nutrients plus B vitamins for heart health. Your One-A-Day is showing.
This is the Pepsi that gets you stuff. Like tickets to... Who doesn't love Pepsi stuff? Drink Pepsi, get stuff.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $15 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand with no surprises and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received the J.D. Power Award for highest customer service 4 times in a row. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Get breaking news, plus first alert weather and traffic focused on where you live. Watch Good Morning Suncoast on ABC 7, weekdays starting at 5. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Well, the holiday weekend is almost here. Meteorologist John Scalzi has the update on that tropical system that they're watching in the Caribbean and just how much rain is headed our way.
As we prepare for holiday weekend trips, we'll tell you about the gas prices you'll face.
And the House just passed a massive defense bill that includes the highest raise for troops in 9 years. We'll have all the details. We have those stories and much more right now on Good Morning Suncoast. And good morning to you. It is 5:29. Thanks for waking up with us on this Friday morning. I'm Stephanie Webb.
And I'm Ray Collins. John Scalzi has a cot in the weather office now. He's ready.
Yeah, well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. I think we'll probably see a pretty rainy weekend. Waves of rain showers coming through. Breezy Saturday afternoon and evening. And kind of rough seas out there. And basically, I think it's going to spoil a lot of people's Memorial Day weekend plans, and you'll have to make alternative ones indoors, I think. Cooper in central Sarasota came up with an inch of rainfall yesterday. Becky and Omayak only had a quarter inch, but the rains were around, and obviously they'll be around again tonight, helping to saturate the ground. So additional rains kind of aggravating the situation. If we get a lot of additional rains, I think we could probably see some ponding on roadways, maybe some culverts filled up with water. I think one of the big issues down the road, there are going to be mosquitoes next week, because I think we're going to see quite an increase in mosquito activity. 90 or 70% chance of development of this system over the next couple of days, probably over the next 48, 24 hours or so, but a 90% chance over 5 days, particularly as it lifts northward. I think it might intensify up toward the panhandle of the state or up toward the northern Gulf Coast. The tropical river of moisture is back. The precipitable water, the amount of moisture available for rainfall is way up there, about as high as it gets over the state of Florida. So over the next couple of days, we could get plentiful amounts of rain. Right now, some heavy rain over Cuba, all of that lifting northward. The Florida Keys starting to get some rainfall. The southern tip of the state will start to get the rainfall today. And locally, we're not probably going to see too much for our morning commute, but on the commute home, you probably will. A lot more cloud cover, I think, over the course of the next couple of days. The forecast tracks for these models continue to place it in the northern Gulf waters, some closer to Florida, some further away. That will, of course, influence the amount of rains that we get. We're talking about most likely 3 to 5 inches over a 4 or 5 day period. And if we got that evenly spaced out, it'll probably be okay, though down the road we'll have to look at some of the rivers, the ones that I'm talking about, the Alafaya, the Horse Creek, the Mayac, all Little Manatee, all have a issue, of course, with flooding if we get excessive amounts of rainfall. The risks for this storm, I think the two big ones are going to be anything associated with water. The seas will be rough out there. It is not good boating weather tomorrow, so just stay in port, small craft. Also heavy rains and a slight potential for severe weather, which we'll talk about in a second. Back to you.
All right, thank you, John. Let's take a peek now outside our door at the roads. This is the scene right now at I-75 and University Parkway around that diverging diamond as our camera pans toward Lakewood Ranch. There's the live scene right now. Certainly plenty of traffic on the road this weekend. We'll have more on that in just a few seconds. Let's check the maps right now. We'll find out an early buildup on 64 westbound as you drive away from downtown Bradenton. Also eastbound on Cortez. Checking our next maps to the south now, we'll find out there's some buildup there on Mound as you go from the 301 intersection and head up toward Fruitville and toward the North Trail. And then our final maps to the south will indicate some slowdowns already on 41 southbound as you cross from the Northport area and head toward Port Charlotte. Well, we are now exactly a week away from the start of the hurricane season, and there's already a disturbance we're tracking, as John's been talking about. This is a look at what's being called the Invest 90L. It's a broad, low-pressure system over the Yucatan Peninsula The National Hurricane Center says there's a 90% chance Invest 90L could develop into a subtropical or tropical depression over the next 5 days. There's even a chance it could develop into a named storm as well.
Well, it is no secret here on the Suncoast that some areas are worse than most when it comes to flooding, particularly in the southern part of Manatee County. Now, with heavy rains predicted for the area over the weekend, the county is trying to stay ahead of the game. First, they're handing out sandbags to people in flood-prone areas. Public Works is also cleaning out the drains and ditches, clearing debris to try and prevent that flooding when storms hit. Now, long-term, the county's in the middle of a study trying to find a more permanent fix to the flooding, which doesn't even take a major storm to happen.
If we get a heavy rain event, and I'm not talking enormous amount, I'm really talking about 4 to 5 inches within a 12-hour period, it could be no name all over again, because right now our ground is saturated as it is.
Now, if you are in one of those areas of southern Manatee County and you do need some sandbags, crews will be at the Transit Center again today, starting at 8 o'clock this morning and running through 7 o'clock tonight, and you can get them.
Now, if you're driving and you encounter a submerged road, don't take any chances. Flowing water on a paved street can still lift your car. It can also move your car and flood it as well. So police say, turn around, don't drown. Don't cross any flowing water.
You do not know how deep that water is. Okay, it's amazing how powerful flowing and rushing water can be.
Trooper Corbin says even if you have to take a longer route, it is still a safer idea.
Well, according to AAA, nearly 42 million Americans will be hitting the roads and kicking off summer with Memorial Day weekend getaway.
Also on the road, state police looking for dangerous drivers. Marla Spence has a preview now. She's live in Sarasota. Marla?
Good morning, guys. According to AAA, nearly 5% more travelers will be on the road this Memorial Day compared to last Memorial Day. As people get into their cars and head on the roads, law enforcement wants to make sure drivers are safe this year. Sarasota Police Department wants to remind drivers to take their times on the road while traveling this year. The department says more speeding-related deaths happen during summer months than any other time of the year. Also, they want to make sure that you keep those cell phones out of your hands while driving. And one more last thing, designate a sober driver or take an alternative route or transportation if you've had one too many sips of alcohol. If you do need a ride, you can also use AAA's Tow-to-Go service. AAA will pick you and your car up and take you within a 10-mile radius from today until Tuesday at 6 a.m. All you have to do is call 855-2-TOW-TO-GO. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. Meantime, with rain in the forecast, some local hotels and resorts on the Suncoast are getting calls about the cost of cancellations. We checked with a number of places on Anna Maria Island. Outdoor businesses, also like Segway Tours and Bradenton Beach, say their normally booked schedules remain wide open right now.
People are more of the wait-and-see attitude this weekend, which I think leaves a lot of us operators a little up in the air to know what it's going to look like financially.
We've had a few people call for cancellations, but I mean, it's going to be rain.
There you go. The hotels and rentals we spoke with say they've actually had very few canceled reservations so far.
Well, the first of several events that may be getting canceled or postponed this weekend, the Seafood Festival in St. Armand's has now been moved to next weekend. The annual festival was originally scheduled to take place this Saturday and Sunday, but because of the potential of the weather that is headed our way, it's going to be taking place next weekend. The event director there, Bill Kinney, he says it's not easy to move big events like this, but you have to do it to keep everyone safe.
That's part of the risk. You know, it is what it is. You know, when the day's over, you brush yourself off and move on to the next event. You can't lament or cry about this.
Now, the free event at St. Armand's Circle is a biggie. It celebrates all the fresh seafood in the area. There's live music and much more that goes on throughout the weekend.
Manatee County Area Transit starting a new summer bus pass for young people in the area. Anybody 19 or younger can now buy a 3-month pass for $25 and then ride all summer for free. The pass can also be used on routes connecting Manatee and Sarasota County. The Summer Connection Pass will be good from June 1st to the end of August. They're available at MCAT transit stations or by mail.
Well, lawmakers approved a plan, a massive plan, to give the military about $640 billion, including the first pay raises for the troops for the first time in 9 years. The House passed a bill yesterday, 351 to 66. That plan includes a 2.6% pay raise for our troops. It would be the largest increase in years. The bill also authorizes President Trump's request to hold a military parade in Washington to honor veterans. The House is going to meet next month with Senate lawmakers who are working on their own military spending bill. The deadline to send the bill to the president's desk is September the 30th.
Still ahead, a surprise at pre-K, the heartwarming reunion that was all caught on camera. But first, what's this?
This is a live look right there at the White House. They are getting ready for their own Memorial Day weekend. Lots of veteran celebrations and military troops celebrations going on there as well. That's Washington, D.C. this morning. Now back here on the Suncoast, we are preparing for some different things this weekend, right, John Scalzi?
Yeah, like we always say, prepare for the worst, expect the best. And this is the system that could bring us our weather. Very disorganized right now. We have an explosion of thunderstorm activity, but it's dry on one side, being influenced by drier air and upper-level wind shear. And that system is expected to lift northward into the Gulf, where it will eventually experience some better conditions for development. If you look at the thunderstorm forecast today, just standard thunderstorms, but tomorrow we have a marginal risk of the potential of some slight spin-up wind gusts, as well as the potential for some isolated tornadoes. Only about a 2% chance of that, and mostly in South Florida and the Keys. We'll have the complete forecast for you in a minute.
He's been there for you every step of the way. When you didn't know where you were going, to knowing that now you've arrived. Tell him thank you with a trip to Alabama's Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. And you get the gimme of playing along with him. He'll love you even more, if that's possible.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffy Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind Your Meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis. I will never accept defeat. They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers. I will never quit. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. I will never leave a fallen comrade. Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
I think today will be similar to yesterday. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds to start off the morning, maybe a few more clouds around this morning than we had yesterday morning. And as we head into the lunchtime hour, we'll probably see those clouds begin to build and maybe a few thunderstorms and some showers starting to become more numerous as we head into the afternoon. Then as we head into the evening, later in the afternoon, early in the evening, I think those storms will become the most numerous and then kind of taper down as we head into the 7 p.m. time frame. Kind of like yesterday, some of the storms could produce a lot of rainfall. I don't think we'll see as many strong storms as we saw yesterday, but they will be around. Scattered showers lifting up from the south, moving into our area. Some of the storms producing some pretty good rains, particularly in inland areas, but then drifting toward the coastline as they begin to die out tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll be watching as those showers begin to lift northward from that area of disturbed weather as it moves into the Gulf waters and probably forms into a depression or maybe eventually even into a tropical storm named Alberto. We'll watch and see how that plays out. But certainly, we'll see the rain shower chances begin to spike up as we head into tomorrow afternoon. Computer models are suggesting maybe it nudges the system a little closer to the state of Florida in the first half of the forecast period. Then it kind of diverges after that. The European models, again, taking it further away, and the American models tending to shift it a little bit closer up to the Big Bend region. So we'll see how it plays out, but certainly regardless of whether it develops and which of those two tracks it takes, we are going to get a lot of rainfall over the weekend. Kind of a washout weekend, actually. And the winds will pick up as well, particularly Saturday night through early Sunday morning. It'll bring us rough seas. There'll be small craft advisories up, gale warnings up for the far offshore waters as well. And rip currents will be a problem on our area beaches as well as rough surf and things. I know there are going to be some people out there windsurfing. I have no doubt about that. But just be very, very careful. And if you stay out of the waters, you'll be doing everybody a favor, really. Damaging winds, not so much. But, you know, as always, with thunderstorms that move onshore, there's the possibility of a waterspout spin up or a brief, weak tornado spin up. Certainly not out of the question. It's not vanishingly small possibility. It's about a 2% chance of that happening. Heavy rains, we'll watch for that. That could eventually bring us a problem, particularly with river flooding down the road if we get those 5-6-inch rainfalls over a couple of day period. If we get a lot of rain over a 12 to 24 hour period, then you're going to see that ponding of water in low-lying drainage ditches and fields and things like that. Maybe some slosh over on roadways, maybe some impassable roadways, that kind of thing. So we'll watch for that and see. Well, that's one that really you're not going to know that until we monitor the storms as they come in hour by hour and see where the heavy rain might be training or one after another over the same locations. That's what we don't want to see. So the system lifts northward. Spaghetti plots continue to show North Florida is a pretty good chance for a landfall of the system in whatever form it takes, maybe as a tropical storm or back toward the Louisiana Delta region. In any event, the tropical moisture plume, because we're on the wet side of the storm, will continue to provide us with excellent rain chances. The biggest chance for any kind of storm surge or really significant flooding because of the soil type and because of the terrain would be in North Florida around Georgia. European forecast shows the closest move of the storm to us would probably be early in the morning on Sunday or late on Saturday. That's when our wind speeds will probably pick up just a little bit. We'll have 20 to 25 mile an hour sustained winds, maybe some gusts a little higher. And you'll certainly notice that kind of uptick in the winds. South wind coming in at about 15 a little later tonight, picking up a bit. We'll go with 87 as a daytime high today. Could be cooler depending on the cloud cover we get and how soon the storms start up this afternoon. Heavy rains Saturday and Sunday. We're talking about waves of rains coming through. It won't be raining all day long, but certainly periods of rainfall both of those days. kind of putting a damper on all outside activities. We'll call them first alert weather days just for the reasons I mentioned. Rain showers will probably continue into Monday and Tuesday, and we'll be watching those rivers as we head into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look again at your first alert traffic out there this morning. A little bit of a slowdown right there on State Road 64 as you're coming off of 75 headed toward the beaches. But that's really about it going on in Manatee County. Heading into the northern part of Sarasota County, those roads are looking pretty decent. A couple slowdowns and delays that we're seeing again as you come off of 75 onto Fruitville Road and come off of 75 onto Bee Ridge. That's about it going on in the southern half. Now, a little bit farther south in the area, if you're headed south on 75 or south on 41, both of those commutes are looking pretty decent right now. No real slowdowns or congestion in either of those days. It is 5:49, and that is your first alert traffic.
A retired U.S. Navy SEAL from Massachusetts received the military's highest honor yesterday. President Trump awarded Britt Slabinski with the Medal of Honor. The military decoration recognizes Slabinski's heroic actions during a 2002 clash in Afghanistan. The 34-year-old led a team up a snowy mountaintop to rescue a teammate while under enemy fire. The Navy's website says he engaged the enemy until the team could be extracted. He also carried a wounded teammate through the snow during the mission. Slabinski has received a number of other awards as well for his military actions.
And speaking of the military, we love these stories around here. A military mom pulled off a big surprise at her son's last day of school. Air Force Staff Sergeant Mariana Chapman showed up to the Texas school of her 4-year-old son yesterday. Little guy had no idea that his mom was even coming home. I love this. Look at this. Goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
His teachers were in on the surprise, making sure that his mom surprised him right when it was his turn to be on the stage. Look at this, not a dry eye in the house. Sergeant Chapman had been deployed in South Korea since last December, but she was able to arrange this last-minute surprise trip home for her son's last day. His birthday is also next week, so she's home for all of it.
That is just sweet all around.
Love those stories.
Here's a sharp turn. Now let's talk about something else. Mother Nature's fury right now in Hawaii. This is the Kilauea volcano.
That is right. Mother Nature showing no signs of slowing down out there. We're going to have a look at that, plus your latest headlines when Good Morning Suncoast continues right here on ABC 7.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
When ABC 7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Army National Guard soldiers serve to give back to their country and their community. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for benefits such as health and life insurance, education benefits, and retirement and VA home loan benefits. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Welcome back. It is 5:54, and here are the stories that we've been filing for you on the Suncoast this morning.
Rainy weather expected this weekend is already causing fallout. The St. Armand Seafood Fest has moved to next weekend. And a check with area hotels and resorts say they are getting some calls about the cost of breaking reservations.
Plus, disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. He's expected to surrender to New York police later on this morning to face rape charges.
And a popular Bay Area restaurant chain is renovating this nearly 100-year-old building near downtown Sarasota. Bavaro's hopes to open in early July near Main and 301.
And right now, let's take one last look at your first alert weather with John Scalzi.
Still some big questions in the weekend forecast, to be honest with you, as to what we will see in terms of our weather. We have a highly disorganized system down to the south, lifting northward into the Gulf waters. As it moves into the Gulf waters, it is still forecast to strengthen, and the Hurricane Center says that's likely. Some tropical development certainly possible. These would be the weather highlights that I would like you to take away this weekend. Afternoon storms today, but tomorrow periods of heavy rain that continues on through Sunday. It will be breezy, particularly Saturday night into Sunday. Rip currents will be a problem, rough waters, bad boating weather, and there's a slight risk of severe weather, which we'll cover in more detail in the next hour.
All right, thanks. I had that moment last night walking in the teeming rain with an umbrella. Doing okay, though, relatively dry. Get to the car, and then there's that moment. Open the car door, and then you start getting drenched.
All goes, hold on. A full hour of news continues right here on ABC 7.